Hoskins. I serve as Executive Director of the Business Technology Association. We'll probably have others join us in the next few minutes as we go through this. But what we've been doing is about the last couple of years, we've been doing these calls on a monthly basis. And we do so because we found that a lot of members, and certainly new members, don't always know all the benefits of the association. We're very familiar with them, obviously, here as the staff members at the association, but it became clear to us that a lot of members we might mention something in conversation and go, oh, I didn't know BTA did that. So we thought it might be a good idea to have Brian walk folks through the website and kind of we can respond to questions and tell you a little bit more about the association. And our hope, of course, is that you'll find something that you didn't know that the association offers and take greater advantage of membership in the association. So the staff is very small. You can see Brian and Valerie on the call, and I think I saw Elizabeth a moment ago, and Brooke Barker is also on the call. So that's the staff. But we do have a team of about 23 or 4 elected volunteers who are members of the association. They're either owners or senior management at the member dealerships. We have a national board of directors, and then we have 4 districts, and they each have officer teams. And Brian's scrolling through them there, and he can tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But I say that to say that it's not just us. We rely heavily on the volunteers, and we have them guide us, in all things industry wide. And I think they're sometimes surprised when they sign up how much we're going to be leaning on them and involving them in the conversation, et cetera. But so today's purpose is really just for Brian to walk you through the website, and I'm going to chime in a couple of times along the way. But and this is very informal, so that is, if you've got some questions, interrupt us. If you see something you want to ask more about or go back to or whatever, just let us know. So with that, Brian, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate everybody joining us today. You can see my screen, Brent.
Yes.
Okay. What we'd like to do is I'll just try to keep this as short as possible and go through some of the benefits. The first thing we like to do is to make sure everybody's got a login. So if you go to bta.org and up in the upper, on the top there, it says login. So you click on that. And if you don't have a login, you go ahead and create one by clicking that button there. And I'm already logged in, but if you click it again, it'll pop up where you can create an account. So you just put your name, last name, email address, and you submit that. And then the system will send an email back to you that you can finish setting up your login. And I have already logged in under the BTA president of Adam Gregory. And when you log in, it's going to take you to what we call the info hub. And you can see that Adam Gregory is logged in here. And so this is kind of the back end that you can update a lot of information. And the most important tab is probably the My Info tab that's sitting there. And this is where you as an individual or Adam as the company president or primary can change a lot of the information, whether it be a phone number, cell number, email address, that type of information. And then any of the contacts or sub accounts that are in Adam Gregory Advanced Business Solutions. These are all employees that are there, and Adam can come in here and add or delete individuals. So that's a good way to know who's with your company. And then if you scroll down here, we've got a member. This will only appear after you log in, and it's a member directory. And by using this, you can find anybody in the database if they've got equipment set up. Like this is the brother people. So you hit customize your results, come down here, pick a brand, and if you pick Canon, just hit done. And the Canon dealers that are part of the BTA membership are listed here. And you can just click on one of those and it pops up and gives you the contact information to that company. So that's a great way to find other individuals in BTA. And, if you're looking for a specific brand, you just come in there and find the brand that you want to look for. You can also do it by city or state, that type of thing. So you can do a member search there. And then over here on the bottom, if you just click BTA homepage, that takes you back to the BTA homepage right there. So first, I'll bring up the BTA Disaster Grant Program since it's right up here in front. A lot of damage in the North Carolina area. They're still struggling down there. So BTA has had this disaster grant program for quite some time. But every now and then we get some storms that come through that make it relevant. And if you were in a disaster zone, feel free to apply for a grant. Or if you feel, in the kindness of your heart, could donate $5 or $10, $25 to the grant program. You just click on that and you can donate to that disaster grant program that we can help out fellow BTA members. And there's just a little blurb there that Adam Gregory did about that event. So that's the kind of the BTA grant program that if you can, please donate to help out. This is the BTA main page, and initially we have scrolling banners here that have information on the website. You can come down here and there's some other information that are available to you. What I like to do is start, and we kind of did it initially, is going to the About Us tab. You just hit About Us, and it kind of gives you some good information, bylaws of BTA. You have member testimonials, photo archives, video archives. So there's a lot of good information about BTA there. And like Brent said, initially there's some volunteers, and BTA is broken down into 4 districts. Got the West, the Mid-America, the Southeast, and the East. And each one of these districts has their own officers that are involved with it. So if you come there and you just go ahead and click on any of those logos there, you can come up and see these individuals, and they're just they are volunteers and BTA, or they are dealers just like yourself. So I bring this up is because there's the contact information, and one of the best ways to find out information is to network with your fellow dealers. So the officers know of BTA, like BTA, have volunteered for BTA. So if you got a question or a thought, you can reach out to any one of these districts and find somebody in there. So if you're in the Northeast and don't feel comfortable talking to your people, then you just come over here to the West, find the West, and find somebody that you can call and just tell them they're a BTA member. And then there's the National Board of Directors. So there's 5 groups of directors, and this is the National Board. And the National Board also has just officers, district officers that are available to you. So I encourage you to use that as the member directory on the InfoTrend or in the Info Hub is a great source to find people to network with, as well as the officers here. And then up here, all of these buttons have drop-down menus, and each one of them, like education, events. The benefits tab has the drop-down menu, and it's also got these little fly-out menus. But if you just click on the benefits tab right there, it'll open up a page that shows all the BTA benefits. And all of these are, the legal services is there, the business support, the scholarship program, that type of thing. So I'm going to spend the majority of the time real quick right here with the benefits, the overall benefits. And if anybody's got a question, just holler out at me. The legal services is one of the best benefits the BTA has. It's Bob or Greg Goldberg is the BTA legal counsel, and he's the son of Bob Goldberg, which might be familiar to a lot of you out there. Bob was with BTA for over 40 years, and his son Greg has taken over. And you can call up Greg and get advice and consultation on any business information, any business issues that you have, that type of thing. So you can do that. And then also there's some legal documents that BTA has. This is kind of a table of contents showing you the documents that you have. And you need to be logged in to access these documents. And once you're logged in, the page pops up, and you've got a host of Word documents that you can cut and paste and customize to your dealership. and they range from application for employment to managed services to partnering agreements, that type of thing. So the legal documents is a great resource to start with. And you can call up Greg Goldberg, and the dividing line here is how much information will Greg provide for you for free. There's the line in the sand is if it affects the industry as a whole, Greg will do more effort into your issue. So if you're looking to negotiate a new Sharp contract, well, Greg and BTA has probably already negotiated a dealer manufacturer agreement. So you call up Greg and you say, hey, Greg, do you have a dealer manufacturer agreement for Sharp? He'll say yes. So that affects the industry because there's a lot more Sharp dealers out there. But if you called up Greg and says, hey, my landlord's jacking up my rent and I don't like the new lease agreement that he gave me, likely he will not, help you with that. You'd have to take that to a local attorney because that affects you individually. So if that makes it clear that the distinction as to how far the legal services can go, and I always tell dealers and members to go ahead and push it. The worst thing he's going to do is say, I can't really help you with that. Seek local attorney. So then we've got the legal services, and if we go back to the benefits page, we run into support services. So there's a host of, there's the disaster grant program, car rental, collection services, gas. We've got insurance programs, managed website services for dealer site builders. So if you need help with a website, so there's shipping and freight discounts that are available to you as well. Kind of jumping over here to the corner is the education program that we have. You can click on this and that'll take you to the education. And we have classroom workshops as well as e-workshops. So you can take advantage of any of these education classes. And as a member, if you join for 1 year, you get a $400 discount codes, which is 1,250 and 1,150 that you can apply to some of these educational classes or to like the Becky or some of the other resources that BTA offers. So this Pro Finance is one of the better workshops that we have, that we get great reviews when people attend this workshop. And it kind of gives you 30 benchmarks that shows you what good looks like in a dealership. And Strategic Business Associates, John Hay and Todd Johnson, they've grown dealerships from 5 million to 170 million. So they know what they're talking about. And if I would encourage, it's a C-level type of workshop that you would go to, either the CFO, CEO, that type of thing. So I would encourage, pass the word along to those individuals as well. So we've got the education tab right there. We've got the BTA events that we had 3 this year, I believe, and the third one got canceled. It was in Asheville, and these are going to be the ones that we're going to have in 2025. So we'll be down in Orlando, Florida in March. We'll be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where Santa Ana Pueblo is, just outside Albuquerque, in June, and that'll be the BTA National Conference. And then we'll hopefully be back in Asheville, North Carolina, if they can get their repairs done and kind of get back up on their feet. So we have the BTA events, and they're a great way to network with fellow dealers, learn new ideas and strategies, and make vendor connections as well, because there's usually 40 to 50 exhibiting vendors at each of these events. And they're usually probably 75 to 150 attendees. So they're a little more intimate than your manufacturer meeting as well. Back to the benefits page. I wanted to kind of spend some time. We've got 2 products. We've got the Business Equipment Quota Index that's available, and what this does is it helps identify what a given territory, the potential of a given territory. So they'll calculate all of the purchases for the past 3 years, I think it is, and then they'll extrapolate that out and get what are the planned purchases for the next coming 3, 4 or 2 or 3 years. And it gives you an idea. So if you have 2 sales reps and one is hitting quota every month and another one isn't, then you check out the Becky and it breaks it all the way down to the zip code. And you could find out that the guy that's doing pretty good has downtown area and the other guy's got a suburban area out in the country somewhere. And so you can break up the territory to make it more even for each sales rep, so they both got a great shot at it. So the Becky, I would encourage you to look at the Becky as well. And then born out of the COVID area was our dealer helping dealer resources that we have. And there's three legs to this stool. We've got a question and an answer. So you could send in a question to BTA, put the subject line dealer helping dealers, and you send that to Brent. And we send that question out to the dealership membership as a whole. And those questions are posted and listed right here. So there's the question, and these are all the answers. So that's a great source that you can just ask a question. We send it out to the membership as a whole, and you get some answers back for that. So that's one leg of the stool. The other one is the repair network, and we're trying to build up the repair network. So if you have a customer that is not, or that has national accounts, and you need help installing something, if you're in North Carolina and you need help installing something in Texas, you can go to the repair network. First of all, you should sign up for it. You just join it. It's real easy to join. So you just click here to join. Little information, and then you just hit OK, and that'll put you into the repair network. So if you need an install in somebody else's area, you can come here and find a BTA dealer that can help you out, so you too can work out the parameters of that. So I encourage you to sign up. It takes you, probably less than a minute to do it, and then you've got some access to other members. And the final leg is the discussion groups. And this was probably the thing that was born out of the COVID days, because you couldn't travel back in March of 2020. You couldn't travel, so we had to figure out a way to connect dealers. And it was this discussion groups. And there's 5 groups. There's 3 owners. There's 2 sales and 1 service, I believe there are. And Brent does a great job of coordinating that. And you want to speak a little on that,
Sure.
Brent?
Sure. As Brian said, it came out of the pandemic in part because, everybody was scrambling, right? What do we do now? And so dealers, we kind of elevated our dealers helping dealers focus, which has been a focus of the association from the beginning, and brought these dealers together. It's non-competing dealers in the group. The format is really simple in that we send out a Zoom invite and we say, what topics or questions would you like the group to address in today's call? And we spend an hour going through those. And then we keep the dealers connected in between. What I've found is a lot of these dealers, between calls are sending out emails and asking the group for questions. And 2 of the groups have met over 100 times. And some of those attendees have been on virtually every call. It's free. It's part of membership. It's something they maybe hadn't thought about that BTA does, but it's a great way to get connected with a lot of dealers who aren't competition. And they share best practices and ideas, and they respond to questions, and they talk about different vendors, etc. The one that's the most fresh in my mind right now is the service associate one, only because I had a call about 2 hours ago. There were about 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there, forgot what the count was, service managers, and again, from non-competing dealerships. And they talked about, I can't think of all the topics, but they were talking about things like, I remember the first question was, how do you handle tolls and parking fees for your service techs, particularly when they go to downtown locations? They're paying a fortune for parking, and what do you cover, and this and that. And so it was interesting that generated a lot of responses. They talk about vendors a lot. They talk about different issues they're having with a product. And so if that's of interest, it's so simple. You just email me at brent@bta.org. I'll send you a list of the attendees of each group by company name. You find the one that's best for you, and meaning that there are no competitors in the group. And then you can get on the list to be invited to those calls, and it's kind of come and go as you please, meaning that not everybody makes it every call every time. I understand that. People have busy schedules. Priority one is the customer walks into the dealership. That's who you want to talk to first before doing these calls. They're not recorded, so we don't have that as a resource because we want everybody to feel real free and comfortable talking about their dealerships without thinking, this is being recorded in some way. So anyway, if it's of interest, just let me know. I'll get you locked in to one of the groups, and if it's a good fit, then I'm confident you'll want to be a regular attendee. But at least you could check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. So thanks, Brian. Give me that little chance to plug.
Yeah. And if you're curious as to who the vendors are that support the channel, just click on vendors right there, and all these logos will pop up, and those are the logos or the vendors that support the channel. You got some consultants, some trainers, and some publishing there, so a lot of good resources there to look at. Then back to the member benefits page, I'd like to talk about the scholarship program. BTA since 1980, 83 or something like that, have been giving away scholarships every year to dealer members, employees, children. So if you have some people there in your dealership, this is a great benefit to provide to them free of charge. The applications are needed every May 1st of every year, and there's a host of scholarships that are available to the student. There's X amount of money each year available, and so we see how many applicants we have. The applicants are sent off to a third-party evaluator, a local college professor here in town. So BTA has no bearing on who gets what, and the third-party evaluator looks over all the applications and awards the scholarships. So there's one for $1,500, there's one for $2,000, there's one for $3,000, I think two for $3,000. So there's a lot of good money up for grabs. And here's the eligibility. And if you've got any massive questions, you contact Elizabeth Marvel right there. There's her email and her phone number. And you can also download a flyer that promotes the scholarship program that you can put into your break room or, by the front door, by the receptionist, wherever you want. And so it's a great benefit to that doesn't cost the dealership anything. They just pass that along to their employees. And I know Brent loves signing checks. So Brent,
Yeah.
take it away.
Well, yeah, just to mention briefly, we're in the 2024-25 school year. For this school year, we gave out 26 scholarships totaling $33,000 to members, like Brian mentioned at those different value amounts that he listed there a minute ago. If you think about it, the odds are not everybody wins a scholarship. We leave it to that evaluator. It's up to him entirely. But the list of eligible dealers is pretty finite, meaning you have to be the son or daughter of a full-time employee of a member dealership of BTA. So it's not just kind of open to the world, right? So anyway, something to consider. And I think Brian mentioned we've been giving these away since 1984, 85. It's actually been longer than that. It's just that's as far back as our records go. We know that the establishment of the foundation for the scholarships was in the late 60s. But we've given away like 1.8 million, something like that through these years. So there's a separate entity. It's a 501c3 separate from BTA. That's the Scholarship Foundation, and it's there for you as a resource. And as Brian's showing, what we do is the way we do it is we send a check to the sponsoring dealer, and we send a letter to the student saying, "Hey, you've won a scholarship from BTA because your parent works for this company." Get with a company and they'll do a check presentation, and we like to see if they'll send us photos so we can use those on this page and otherwise to promote it. And many of them are very happy to do so. So anyway, something to think about. It's one that occasionally I started out by saying a lot of people don't know all the benefits we offer, and occasionally we found that we were talking to people about this program and they're like, "Oh, I did not know you had that." And another kind of key benefit is it's not just for the owners, like many of the benefits may be perceived as just for the owners or senior management. This is for any employee in the dealership. And a lot of those photos, it's the service tech or sales rep or solution specialist child, that's getting a scholarship. And it's just a kind of a great way to extend the value of membership beyond just the owners of the company, the senior management, really to all the employees. So thanks, Brian.
And that's really about it. If you guys are looking for some swag or whatnot, BTA has a merchandise page. So just click up there. It's at the top of the page. Just click on it and just scroll through there and browse a little bit, and maybe there's an item or something that you'd like to pick up. So it just supports BTA, and I think it goes to some sort of charity, some of the funds. Is that right, Brent?
Yep.
Okay.
So two questions or two things. Brian, if you want to, just for the fun of it, since it's coming up in 30 minutes, you guys who are on the call may say I've got other things I need to do. But there's the webinar, the Diversifying My Business webinar is one of the virtual education programs we have. And this, the one that Brian's scrolling to, is literally coming up in 30 minutes, and it will be recorded. It'll be available on the BTA website tomorrow. You can click and access recording of that webinar. The Diversifying My Business, we actually have vendors talk about the opportunity in selling the products that they sell. We started that several years ago. I think this is only the 14th one of these that we've done. But this is Intermedia, the Unified Communications Company. I think we've got about 50 registrants for the call today. So something to think about. And then the archives of all the rest of them are there. The Building My Business goes back to 2008. There's been a couple of hundred of those webinars. The next one's coming up in just a few weeks here in November. But we have recordings of literally like 180 past webinars that the association has hosted. Many of the times that the topic is timeless. It's not just like, oh, it's, that was done in 2020, and so it's not relevant. No, they're often relevant because they're maybe sales related or motivating your employees or just different things that you could just peruse the list and see if some of those are valuable. But we've been recording them since 2008 and just post them on the website. You do have to have your username and password to access that page on the website. The only thing I want to mention, and we'll let you go. I know we're taking a lot of your time, but Brian, the peer groups, Pro Dealer Group, Select Dealer Group, we have two peer groups that are subsets within BTA. You have to be a member of BTA to be a part of either one of these. The Pro Dealer Group is actually the one that I worked with the closest, and then Valerie Briseno works with the Select Dealer Group. The Pro Dealer Group's on my mind right now because they're getting ready to meet next week in Phoenix or Scottsdale, and there's about 30 member dealerships that are going to come together, share best practices, spend 3 days together, have guest speakers, sponsors, etc. And it's like it's kind of like the Dealers Helping Dealers, maybe on steroids, in that the people get together 3 times a year. They do pay extra dues beyond those of the BTA membership dues, but the Select Dealer Group and the Pro Dealer Group, something you might want to think about. It's not only just the best practices, but they complete a survey every year. That's a financial survey with Strategic Business Associates. We mentioned earlier John Hay and Todd Johnson, and they do this survey where you end up with you respond to the survey with all your financials based on the metrics and the benchmarks that are taught in the Pro Finance workshop, and you end up seeing here's me compared to the aggregate of everybody else in my group. So nobody sees your information except for Todd Johnson, and he's the one compiling the survey. But those members love that because they can see where they need help, where they need to improve their certain areas of their business, whether it's a service side or sales side or whatever. And so once a year they present the results of those surveys in these groups. And it's not just Pro Dealer Group, Select Dealer Group. They actually also work outside of BTA with the BPCA and the CDA, two other peer groups, and they end up showing you here's the aggregate of the universe of dealers. So all 4 of those groups, and this is like billions of dollars of imaging devices being sold, and they can show you where people are performing well and where they're not performing well. So you may not have any awareness of that, but it's something to, if you're of interest, we can see if there's availability, because the issue is that it's non-competing dealers, unlike just BTA membership at large. In this case, we have to restrict membership to non-competing dealers. But as you see on the map, they're all over the country, and there's lots of open territory. So um, appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you, Brian, for walking us through that. Brian's the most familiar to you all because he is the membership salesperson, and he spends all day, every day, talking to dealers and helping grow the association. He's there to respond to questions and help find the answer if you don't know the answer about something or you're looking for something. He's really good at researching that and finding folks that can help you if he doesn't have the information. You can see the staff there. I always say we have the easiest email addresses in the industry. It's just our first name at bta.org. So, Brent at bta.org, Brian at bta.org, etc. Reach out to us at any time. I didn't say this at the beginning, but the staff collectively has, I have this written down because it's kind of shocking to me. We collectively have 90 years of industry experience. We've all, most of us have been here many, many years. And I say that to say that we just know a lot of people. We know a lot about the industry. We're often called upon to kind of connect people, introduce people, answer questions about different companies and this and that. And if you ever think that we can help you, let us know. And we'll see what we can do to help you out. We recognize fully that we work for you, that really you're the owners of the association, we're the employees, and so we want to do whatever we can to help the dealer member. We're approaching our 100th anniversary. I don't know if you know that, but we're 98 years old. A couple of years we're going to celebrate. Yeah. I see Jack clapping there. Yeah, we're almost at 100 years. We can't believe it. We started in 1926. We were typewriter dealers back then, but you know what? 1926, we were governed by independent office technology dealers just like we are today. It's all about the dealers. And so from the very beginning, it's been that way. And it's just been amazing to me. It's been 100 years. Brian's showing some of the old archival photos. I mean, this is, kind of foreign to us today because it's just another period in our history. But so, there they are, all in their suits and ties in different parts of the country and the hats. We enjoy these photos, and we decided one day, hey, let's scan them and put them on the website. And we got a little special guy here. Somebody pointed this out as Brian's circling. Look at this guy. I think we had one too many. He's got his napkin. He's got some sort of party hat on his face. This is what, 1930?
1939.
39. Yeah. So
in Ohio.
A bit ago, so at the time we were the National Typewriter and Office Machine Dealers Association. Same association, different name. So, well, thank you all for your time, and hopefully this has been of value and help. And reach out to us at any time; we'd be glad to help you. We're gonna go ahead and end the call for now, but we'll look to connect with you down the road, and maybe we'll see a few of you in 30 minutes on our webinar that's coming up as we're gear up for that. So, thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.